Hello everyone and welcome back to the Formula Chart Sprint Series here with Formula 3 cars heading around the Portimão circuit in Portugal. My cat is currently walking on the keyboard, so I'm just going to move that quickly, and now we can watch Oscar Williams starting his first flying lap of the circuit that hosted its first Grand Prix earlier this year. Oscar Williams, of course, is the second placed driver in the championship, with 4 wins to his name heading into this round and a double podium at Monaco last time out, and he is on his first flying lap, showing us exactly what he can do. Williams, of course, had a streak of 4 pole positions which was broken last time out at the Monaco street circuit, and that was by his main championship rival Arthur Nieminen. He's only a little way behind Nieminen in terms of the points, 23 points in total, which sounds like quite a lot, but with 6 races still remaining, that is 3 rounds, I would say that it is still wide open, but Williams definitely needs some luck, and Nieminen would have to get a little bit unlucky. But let's watch Williams on this flying lap over the crest of the hill. One of the many crests of this Portimão circuit. This next crest is a really difficult one, because you have to turn into the corner and clip the second apex and then accelerate as your car gets light over the top of the hill. It's basically everything that could make a corner difficult piled into one. I think Williams just had a slight twitch on the entry to the corner, but anyway. Oh, talking of twitches, whoa! I think what we're actually seeing there is a little bit of lag, because I don't think a car would drive that sideways and get away with it, and since they're doing it at every corner, yes indeed, that is definitely a lag spike, and you can see at the top of the screen there that my CPU occupancy is over 99%, which means basically my game is having a panic attack. But anyway, so Oscar Williams completes his first flying lap as I try to figure out what is making my game so unhappy. I'll try closing a couple of tabs, sorry about this. But anyway, Williams is at the top of the order currently with a 136.507 ahead of Maximilian Younger, who's second, and Sami Salem, who's third. So that's how they're looking so far. Arti Nieminen goes to the top of the order. He is the championship leader, took pole position last time at Monaco, as he did in Imola. And with a 135.920, he is considerably in the lead of this session. But these are the very early stages, and a lot of the time you'll notice that a driver's second lap is more competitive than their first, because the tyres then are at a better temperature, they're slightly scrubbed so they're more grippy, and of course the drivers have got into the flow of it as well. So there's Nieminen being followed around, I think, by his teammate Sami Salem. Now, we don't have many changes from last time, although one that's notable is that 888 have signed Tim Omloo after his impressive performance in Monaco. Thanks to Verminart for that statistic. Well, fact rather than statistic. So Omloo there, moving from Nova Finlandia over to 888 VDT, and joining Dave Southwood and Alex Cochrane and all of their usual drivers. So, towards the end of another lap comes Arti Nieminen. Williams has gone quicker. Williams with a 135.769 goes to the top of the order. Yep, Wagenvoort now up to third, and Nieminen pulls over to the middle of the track and crosses the line to improve. Does he? Well, the line's actually the later line, and yes, he does improve. It's 135.464, so that puts Arti Nieminen to the top of the order. Let's have a look ahead at some of the other drivers. Here's Martin van Laat, currently running in 9th position, and actually, since he's only in the first sector, let's ride on board with him for the rest of the lap. I don't know actually if these corners have corner names here in Portimão. If they do, I'm not particularly familiar with them, so I'll just look that up quickly. But the Portimão circuit, mainly renowned for motorbike racing. Of course, MotoGP races here quite a lot. Oh, sorry about the lag, goodness me. And earlier this year, of course, I actually watched my first MotoGP race here this year. Yeah, I know, crazy that I've it's taken me so long to get into to MotoGP, but anyway, and it was the last one of the year, won by local driver Miguel Oliveira, I believe that was his name anyway. Van Land now down into Sagres, turn 14. They do appear to have corner names, and the final turn, which is this long right-hander, is known as Galp, turn 15. Van Land now approaching the start-finish line to complete another lap of qualifying, and goes up to, well, Onlu's gone to 6th, and Van Land goes only 10th actually, so slightly improves in his lap, but does not jump up the order considerably at all, and goes very, very wide at turn 1, which is known as Primera. Here's Williams again. He appears to be on another lap. Let's see how close he can get to Artie Nieminen, if he can indeed. Oh, that's a nice shot. You see the Welsh dragon on the top of Williams's helmet. Williams from Wales, I would assume from that. Up the hill he goes, and through, oh, what's this corner name? Well, it's known as Portimao by the looks of things. Turns 10 and 11, a double apexed right-hander. And then down into... Now, is that a spin or a lag spike? That was a lag spike. Again, really sorry about that. We have tried to sort out my CPU. I've tried with the help of some of the people in this league, although so far, no luck, I'm afraid to say. Dave Southwood goes 5th, good luck from him, and Williams is in the pits, so Williams will not improve with this run. Couple of guys also in the pit lane. Here's Nevaeh Klink, he is P10, whoopsie daisy, and that looks like a spin. Yep, not a lag spike this time, so Klink not going to improve on this lap. Max Younger also off the road there. Here's Carlos Skermanis. Skermanis P15. And as he approaches the line, this will be his first representative time, because looking at the lap counter, and there we go, it goes 14th. Yeah, looking at the lap times, he previously had either only registered an out lap or had a spin or something, because his time was well down. Skermanis now still a little way down on the cars in front of him. 4 seconds ahead of Jaeger, or yeah, Jaeger there, so I expect Snowed Jaeger will be going for a more representative time than that when he can. Dave Southwood, one of the 888 drivers. 888, no relation to the V8 Supercars team of the same name. Down towards Galp to complete a qualifying run, about a second down on the leader, which puts him about on par with the laps that he's done so far. And he is coming through to complete that lap now. Oh no, he's not, he's coming into the pits, never mind. So, Dave Southwood in. We're approaching the end of the session, actually, not that much longer to go. Just over 5 minutes left. Cyprian Stoyan currently P12. Oh, may get a little held up here because he's got Salem and Nieminen just ahead of him. Two of the Scuderia Toto Rosso cars, of course. And yeah, that didn't look very good through there. Anyway, into the final 5 minutes of qualifying. Is our leader, Artie Nieminen, on a lap? Or is this an out or in lap? So far it's unsure. It's looking pretty quick, so I don't think it would be an... I don't know, because a lot of the time people do push on out laps to get the tyres warmed, and sometimes they push on in laps too to make sure that they get more time to get out and qualify some more. But anyway, I suppose we'll see as he exits Galp, and he does go onto a lap. And whether this is to complete a lap or not, we shall see. Looks as if he's about to start one, so let's keep with Artie Nieminen. There we go, indeed, that was an out lap, so we're keeping with Artie Nieminen as he heads out and around the track for another attempt, another assault at this Portimao Grand Prix circuit. Verminat says there is relation to the Triple Eight V8 Supercars team. Triple Eight is the same team that ran in the BTCC Championship. They folded and the name and assets were brought up, and they're now in sim racing with VDT. Maybe some interesting plans for next year in real life too. Goodness me. Well, I didn't but the V8... Yes, and the V8 one is branched off from the BTCC one. You see, I knew that, but I didn't know that they had any relation with the sim racing team that we're watching here. Well, that's quite something. Thank you for that fact, Vermin. And yeah, wow. Okay, great to see such a high-profile team in this then. Anyway, Artie Nieminen for Scuderia Totoroto backs off his lap, so Nieminen not going any quicker, unless I'm very much mistaken. May have just been another lag spike. Seems that I get much less lag when I've selected the game. That's interesting. Trouble is, I want to change some of my other tabs to look at the standings and stuff, but anyway, I'll try to keep it selected as much as I can. Nieminen approaching the line, going on to another lap, and yeah, he definitely backed off in the middle sector, so he is going for another lap here. This one probably more representative and more important for Artie Nieminen. Another person I'd like to thank, or two people actually, would be Philip Ola and Little Spoon, also known as Athenex, who have given me tips about getting rid of my cursor so that whenever I click on something on the screen, you don't see my cursor just kind of moving around. It can get a little distracting, and I appreciate that you don't have to see that anymore. Williams just improved his lap, 1:35.544. Gets a little closer to Artie Nieminen, but still not close enough. Still not close enough to properly start attacking the Scuderia Toto Rosso driver's lap time. He is just under 0.2 of a second off as it stands. Nieminen looks like he's drifting, but he really isn't. We're going to be seeing a bit more of that today, I expect. I hope not, but anyway. And that is simply because of the issues, the CPU issues that we're experiencing. But anyway, Nieminen out of the final corner, and we'll go on to one final lap, but this lap could be the important one anyway. Across the line, and it's down. It's just under 0.1 of a second down on his time, so no improvement. There's Skermanis, he's still 14th. Martin van Land is 7th. Maximilian Younger is P4, doing a good job so far. Janssen now up to 6th. Younger running very wide at the hairpin and backing off, so this will not be an improvement for Younger. Here's Jaap Wagenvoort, currently also in the top 5. Probably not a contender for pole, with all due respect to him. Salem apparently stopped on track somewhere, so he's in the pits. So Salem and Younger not going to improve on their own times. Wagenvoort, Williams and Nieminen still could, potentially. Here comes Wagenvoort, only right-handers to go on this lap. The checkered flag will await him. And when he passes that, his session will be over. He approaches the line, avoids the pit lane, and this is looking decent for Jaap Wagenvoort across the line, and it's an improvement, but he stays 5th. He stays 5th. What about Oscar Williams? Well, he's in the hairpin so far. That's Tura Vip. Then out through turn 6. Turn 7 is more of a corner than turn 6, and it brings you towards the difficult dip in to turn 8 at Samsung. Craig Jones' corner is turn 9 here, named after Jonesy, the famous motorbike racer. And then of course Portimao turns 10 and 11, named because I believe it points in the direction of the Portimao town in the Algarve. And then down towards turn 13. Surprised that corner doesn't have a name, but anyway. Sagres, and then Galp complete a lap of the Portimao circuit, and Williams is well down on his time, so he is coming into the pits. That was not a competitive lap, and that looks like the end of the session. So Artie Nieminen will take pole position here quite convincingly from I say quite convincingly, just under 0.2 of a second. That's actually not that much, but anyway, Nieminen on pole nonetheless. Williams second, Sami Salem third place, and then Maximilian Junge fourth. So it goes Toto Rosso, Vermin, Toto Rosso, Vermin, and the rivalry between the two teams continues. Jaap Wagenvoort is fifth, then it's Mex Janssen, Dave Southwood, Martin van Land, Tim Omloo, Tim Draper, Nevaeh Klink, Cyprian Steyn, Rob Kinnable, Carlos Stomanis, and Snow Jaeger. I'm going to take about a 20-second break just so I can go and shut my door so you don't get any interruptions, and then we will pick up where we left off. Okay, welcome. If you're just tuning in to Formula Chart, we have just witnessed Artie Nieminen taking pole position here at the Portimao circuit in Portugal, and the race is about to start in about 50 seconds time. Nieminen, Williams, Salem and Junge, the four top drivers that you have to look out for from the front two rows of the grid. Captain Chaos 025 saying good luck all, and they will absolutely need it. This is going to be a tense race. This circuit always a good one for racing. A lot of drivers revving their engines heavily, even though the lights haven't come on yet. But when the lights do come on and then extinguish, we will be underway for 20 minutes of racing here. And 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. We're away here at Portimao. Let's look to see which of the contenders heads down to turn 1 in first place. It's Artie Nieminen. He leads ahead of, I think that's Williams in second. It is indeed. And then Junge looks as if he's going to get up to third. Salem was slightly wide, and there's a crash at the back. Look at that. We've got Omloo off, along with Stojanovic and Skermanis. So 3 different cars off at turn 1 there, and the rest of the field. Southwood there getting a bad run out of the corner. Wagenvoort up to P5. Didn't quite see what happened in the background, but it's affected at least 3 drivers. Up the hill, Williams chasing Nieminen, and the rest of the field chasing each other behind. Shame to see Omloo going off at the start. Omloo, who's just moved to the 888 Racing team, would have hoped for a much better start than that. Salem losing time. Salem dropping places down to 8th position. So Southwood up to 5th. Janssen 6th. Draper 7th. Janssen now up to 5th on the inside of Southwood. And Salem back past Draper. That's a change in the Toto Rosso camp. Skermanis off again. Spins in one of the worst places because it's difficult to get the car going on a hill that steep. Out of the final corner, this is going to be the first proper overtaking opportunity of the lap, as I think Snow Jaeger has been off yet. Well, you see him there on the left hand side, so he's lost 10th place. Rob Kinnable up to 10th. Start finish straight, slipstreaming taking place. Williams not able to get particularly close to Nieminen. Nieminen building out a little bit of a gap on this opening lap of the race. There's Southwood on the back of Janssen. Sami Salem, Tim Draper and Nevaeh Klink following them through. Van Land also very close to Rob Kinnable over that 10th place there. Towards the Tour Verb hairpin. 2 Vermin racing cars in the top 3 once again. There's a bitter rivalry between those two teams, Vermin and Scuderia Totorosso, in the championship. Of course, with Jack Smith not making it today, Jaap Wagenvoort will likely cement his place in 4th in the championship. And also with Clank Hughes not making it either, that takes away another threat for him. But anyway, Nieminen, Williams, close combat. Sami Salem about to pass southward by the looks of things as well. Very, very close down there, 6th and 7th positions. Now you really can slipstream down the start-finish straight. The only thing that makes it difficult is that it comes out of, or it comes just after a very fast corner where it's difficult to follow the car in front. You need to get a good exit there. And then of course the next corner is pretty fast as well, but look at that run. Salem with a very decent run indeed. To the inside of Southwood and goes through, as Nieminen sets the fastest lap of the race so far. No surprise there. Onto another lap of racing. Skermanis has passed Jaeger for P14, two of the drivers who were very badly affected on the opening lap of the race by spins and various incidents. And Tim Onlo has passed Rob Kinnable as we're speaking as well. Williams still close to Nieminen, but nowhere near close enough to make a move. Nieminen would want a bit more of a buffer than this, but Williams would need to be much closer to actually make an overtake. We're watching Williams as he attempts to hunt down his main championship and race rival. Williams is on a wonderful streak of 4 podium finishes. Nieminen did not finish on the podium last time out in race 2 at Monaco. He won race 1, but coming through proved to be a difficult task, as it would be. Cyprian Stoyan off the road again, and so is Snow Diego, so a couple of incidents going on further back. A couple of drivers still struggling a little here at Portimao. Stoyan still ahead of Skermanis though. And Nieminen, for the first time in this race, breaks outside of the 1 second margin over Williams and sets the fastest lap of the race as he's doing it. Williams also with a personal best lap, but it is very early in the race and Nieminen was a lot faster in general. Salem now has caught up to the back of Janssen. He's within half a second of him actually as they exit the start-finish straight and head up the hill over one of the most notable parts of the Portimao circuit. That steep incline at the start of the circuit. Janssen with a slight lock-up. Salem got a better run but got a little boxed in there, couldn't really do anything. There was a car in his way. And now settles in behind Janssen for a couple of corners, won't want to do that for too long. Janssen making a couple of mistakes this lap. You can tell by the body language of his car that he is feeling the pressure here and that he knows that Salem is hunting him. And of course after Salem lost those places in the opening couple of laps, he'll know that he has the pace to get through here, get back into the top 5, start hunting down the podium positions. And he will want to do that as quickly as he possibly can. Out through Galp once again. 6 or so minutes of the race gone already. Nieminen once again fastest of anyone. Williams not quite as quick as his last lap. Salem with a massive slipstream goes to the outside line and sweeps past Max Janssen before they even reach the apex. And that was a much cleaner move than some of the ones we saw in Formula 1 this year, I'm afraid to say. But yeah, Sami Salem making it stick and showing everyone just how you do it. So Janssen has to settle in behind him. And Salem now in the top 5. Oh, runs off the road though. And big lag. And now the order needs to correct itself because I can... Well, it looks as if... I think he went off and then the game didn't exactly know what to make of it. And now, I think... Is that Janssen ahead? Yes, it is. So Janssen has got back past Sami Salem. Well, I wish I could tell you more comfortably how that actually happened and why that happened. But whatever the case, Janssen is back ahead of Salem, and Salem's going to have to do that all over again. Well, that's confusing. Anyway, down towards the final corner of another lap. Let's see if Newman sets something like his 4th or 5th fastest lap in a row. He doesn't, actually. In fact, Williams was slightly faster on that last lap, setting a personal best, getting in the 135s for the first time. Now here comes Salem. Janssen defends but doesn't cover off enough of the track, and Salem goes back through in a very similar way to a lap ago, but look at Janssen straight back up his inside again, and a brilliant cutback from Janssen. Salem is having so much trouble getting ahead and staying ahead of Sami Salem. Jaap Wagenvoort is getting away from them in the distance. I was just about to say, actually, I wonder if he could catch up to Wagenvoort at this rate, but I think actually it looks as if he's going to come under more pressure from Southwood. This is getting a little frantic. Over 5th, 6th and 7th position. Southwood within a second of them. And Salem will have to be very decisive about his next move, make it work, or else he is going to be under real pressure here. Down the hill, Southwood sniffing a chance of a double overtake and a top 5 finish. And now comes the slipstreaming, the most important part of the track as far as overtakes are concerned. Martin van Laan's had a spin, he's facing backwards. And does he rejoin safely? I think he's got enough of a gap to Kinnable to rejoin safely there. Back to Salem. And the slipstream still very powerful. He's close into turn 1. Janssen goes defensive. Now can Salem do to Janssen what Janssen did to him a lap ago? He doesn't. Looks as if he may have been about to go for a switchback. But once again, Janssen holds off Salem's advance. Down to the hairpin again. You need to be extremely close to make a move there. It's a faster corner than it looks because of its banked nature. Tim Omlo, I believe, has just passed Neveo Klink. That's for 10th position. Klink coming back at him on the inside. Has to back out of it. Klink with a much better run out of the corner. Or Omlo, rather. So yeah, Klink definitely had to back out of that one. Back to Sami Salem. Look how close he is. But look how close Southwood is getting. Southwood about 0.2 of a second closer to them than he was a lap ago. We'll see if we have any moderators in the Twitch chat. There appears to be a bot or something causing a bit of havoc, but anyway, I'm sure that you're aware of that. Onto the start-finish straight once again. We have Sami Salem ducking to the outside line. The trouble is, he's going to pass him much earlier, and that means that Janssen is going to get back in the slipstream here. But I think Salem's ahead. Indeed, he's made it stick, so Sami Salem finally through to 5th position. This time, can he keep it there? Sami Salem losing 5.6 seconds to Jaap Wagenvoort in the process. Almost 5.7. And that could be the end of his chance of a podium. I think it probably will be, especially since we're in the last 8 minutes of the race now. Rob Kinnable, incidentally, in the pits. So, unfortunately, he may end up being our first retirement. The race continues though with 14 cars on track. And Salem and Janssen still going at it for 5th position. Kinnable appears to be back on the road, indeed he is. Snowed Jaeger has been off as he gets lapped by some of the leaders. Let's just stick with him to see if he rejoins safely. There goes the battle between Salem and Janssen. And Jaeger waiting for a clear... well, I said waiting for a clean gap, but I think he's just waiting at this point. I don't know quite what's going on. Whatever the case, I think that Salem has broken away to the extent where Janssen can't significantly slipstream him. That's what he needed to do. Now Janssen did set a personal best lap of the race, but it was still 0.7 of a second slower than Sammy Salem. So at this rate, it's looking as if Salem is going to start pulling away from Max Janssen. Janssen did a really good job in defence though. Great job to hold him off for so long. It was an enthralling battle, but now it's looking like it will soon be between Janssen and Southwood more than anything. Down towards the middle sector of the course. Janssen continuing to drop back. Southwood not quite gaining by the amount that he would have hoped to. He's dropped a little since the last lap of the race, and Stoyan appears to be off. And he's in the gravel, and he's deep in the gravel, so Stoyan appears to have beached it, I'm afraid. Oh, well, it's rare you see a car get that completely beached in Assetto Corsa, but Stoyan appears to be in real trouble there. May still be able to rejoin the race if he teleports back to the pits and then comes out again, but I'm afraid that car is looking very, very stuck to me, and that could be a retirement from this race. Out onto the start-finish straight again. 5 minutes, just over that, remaining in this race. Stoyan has indeed gone back to the pits now. You see his yellow car there on the right-hand side. The other car there in the pits is to be ignored. That is the camera car, the car that has to exist for you to be seeing the visuals that you're seeing right now. But anyway. Over the crest of the hill go Janssen and Southwood. Southwood, now he's putting the hammer down. Now he's a lot closer to Janssen than he was a lap ago. And this is where I was expecting him to be a lap ago, pretty much, but better late than never. And as he may have a little attack at... well, yeah, it was too early there, but I was looking at the... oh, big twitch over the hill. Sorry, I was looking at the time between the two of them, and it came right down to almost 1/10 of a second, which is usually attacking territory. Drops back a little. Maybe got a little too close for comfort. Got that turbulent air, and now he's having to regroup and do it all over again. Out onto the start-finish straight they go. Slipstream central, but he's a little way back. A bit too far for any properly meaningful slipstream. I'll definitely be gaining from this. You gain from the slipstream up to maybe 2 or 3 seconds back. Possibly even further than that, but by minuscule amounts that you'll barely notice. But Southwood not able to catch by any amount that would allow him to attack or anything like that. He's dropped a bit since the last lap, but that was mainly because, as I said, he got a little too close for comfort potentially. Janssen and Southwood have had some battles so far this season already. Southwood picked up his first podium of the season last time at Monaco in race 2. Has been improving and improving as the season's gone on. Impressive, because he only got into the the single-digit finishing positions in race 2 at Imola. And Monaco was the first time he got into the single-digit positions in race 1 as well, which I would say is even more impressive. As for Janssen, he of course missed the first 3 rounds of the season. He's been a bit more impressive since. 3 fifth places, one at Donington, one at Zandvoort, one at Okayama, although he didn't make the second race at Monaco last time out. So they're not really battling in the championship, since Southwood has made 2 more rounds than Janssen has, but on track they are fighting hard. Someone just getting out of the way there on the right hand side. One of Southwood's teammates, so anyway. Who is that? Is it Rob Kinnable? No, it's Carlos Skermanis, sorry, getting out of the way. Yeah, Wagenvoort incidentally briefly broke in to less than a second behind Max Younger. Now, if Younger holds onto this, it will be his first podium finish of the season. His best result so far was 5th in the first race of the year. Yeah, Wagenvoort does already have a podium, but he looks hungry for another one. It's dropped back to over a second off now, but, and there he goes, dips straight back into it as they head into a braking zone. I'd say that Wagenvoort is really hunting here, as we're on to probably the last lap of the race when they cross the line. Indeed it will be, because Niemanen's just triggered the timing beam, so this will be the last lap of the race now for Younger and Wagenvoort. And Wagenvoort's last lap over half a second faster than Younger. If he does that again, he's going to be right under the gearbox of Younger when they finish it, so he's going to have to go even faster and try to potentially trigger a mistake for Maximilian Younger if he's going to get through and finish ahead. Southwood also right on the back of Janssen as we speak. And indeed, the timer ticks to 0, so this is the final lap of the race. And Nieminen has a 1.4 second lead over Oscar Williams, who is 10 seconds ahead of this scrap, Younger versus Wagenvoort. Rob Kinnable has got past Snowdjager for 13th place. But for third, 10 places up, a battle rages. Now really, I do think that Younger will have to make a mistake for Wagenvoort to come through. So let's look at Artti Nieminen, who is about to approach the final corner of the race. And Artti Nieminen, who was pressured the whole way by Oscar Williams, not really challenged but pressured, is going to hold on to win the first race here and extend his championship lead. There he goes across the line. Williams is P2. Now let's look back at the P3 scrap, which is getting very, very close. It's going to be a drag race to the line, and it's just going to be Younger, is it? My goodness! They're side by side! And I think it was Younger. Now my timing screen's been wrong before, so let's just double check that. Oh my goodness, well it was Younger. But 100th of a second, he was really weaving there as they approached the start-finish line. It almost looked like he was celebrating too early. But Younger there just holding on. And that was a proper drag race, my goodness. So Nieminen, Williams, Younger, Wagenvoort, Salem, Southwood, Janssen, Draper, Omley. Van Land is going to be P10. And then it will be Klink, Skermanis, Kinnable and Jaeger by the looks of things. Van Lander finishing 10th. Now all drivers who are classified in this race will score points, since points go down to 15th place and there are 15 drivers. Shame to see only 15 drivers showing up today, but whatever the case, that's still a decent grid. Rob Kinnable a lap down, I'm afraid, after various issues. Snowdieger, it appears, was off the road again, and possibly still is. There he is, recovering from whatever his issues have been. Kinnable crosses the line, so Jaeger now just needs to deliver it home for oopsie daisy, and that's another little spin. I wonder if Jaeger's tyres are a little cooked by the end of this, because he's been having various different whoopsies throughout this race, and now his car appears virtually uncontrollable. But it doesn't matter much, because whatever happens now, he's going to be classified 14th, and finishing is just a thing he wants to do now, rather than a thing he needs to do. There he goes anyway, Snowdieger across the line. But don't go anywhere, because we have a second race coming up very, very shortly, with a reverse top 10. So Van Land will be starting from pole position, alongside Tim Omlu, then Draper and Janssen. And it is going to be a fascinating race. Southwood, incidentally, did get past Janssen, so we didn't see that on the last lap. But yeah, that was for 6th place. But yeah, race 2 coming up very soon. It will be the same length, but with a partially reversed grid, keeping it interesting and keeping it important for all of the drivers. Williams, of course, will be starting ahead of Nieminen, and will be hoping to redeem himself and get some points back as far as the championship is concerned. That and more coming up very, very shortly. Don't know why Williams is heading back out into the track there. The race is well and truly over. But anyway, just going out to have a cycle up or something. Whatever. Anyway, congrats to Younger as well. That's his first podium of the series for Vermin Racing Team. And Vermin, of course, with 2 drivers in the podium positions. Impressive for them. A large points tally. And some important points in their championship. In terms of the team's championship, Scuderia Toto Rosso are leading that by 31 points over Vermin Racing Team. I believe you're only allowed to have 2 drivers scoring points in any particular race, but whatever the case, yeah, Vermin leading that at present, followed by Scuderia Toto Rosso leading that, followed by Vermin, and then of course you have Infoward, NDC Racing Team, and then 888 VDT. So that's how it stands at present. We're now heading towards the second of our 2 races here today. It's going to be Martin Van Land starting first on the grid, followed by Tim Omlu, Tim Draper, Max Janssen, Dave Southwood, Sammy Salem, Jaap Wagenvoort, Maximilian Younger, Oscar Williams, and Artu Nieminen. With Williams and Nieminen being of particular interest because they are the championship rivals, coming through from 9th and 10th on the grid. Sammy Salem, I think, still technically in contention for the championship, although a little bit of an outside shot. And then I think there are probably other drivers in mathematical contention, but realistically it's between the top 2 at this stage. So here we go then, preparing to start race 2 here at Portimao. I hope you're enjoying this race event so far. I know that I certainly am, and will continue to enjoy it for the duration of this second race. We're live on both Twitch. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we are live at both on both Twitch and YouTube for once, which is great to see. And we have a slightly incorrect stream name for YouTube. But anyway, race 2 getting underway here with Van Land on pole position. Go! So let's take a look to the front of the order. Sorry for the flashing, and it looks as if Tim Omlu's got a better start. He's going to be on the inside line for turn 1. Omlu or Van Land? It's Omlu who leads out of the first corner. Van Land second, Draper third at present. A slightly cleaner start this time. Ooh, but contact in the mid-pack, and around go Janssen and Wagenvoort, so they're both off, and Tim Draper also involved, and kicking up gravel, so 3 cars off. Southwood's slow to get going. I don't know who's missing, because there were supposed to be 15 cars, but there were only 14, but anyway, the race continues. And I think it's Snow Diego who's missing, I'm afraid to say, but anyway. So, Omlu, Van Land, Williams up to 2nd. Salem up to 3rd, then it's Niemanen, Younger, Skermanis. And indeed it is Snow Diego who's missing from this race. Max Younger has passed Artie Niemanen for P5. That's important. And behind them, Skermanis under attack from Stoyan. Those 2 drivers who finished outside of the top 10 in race 1. Fighting well and truly inside of it in race 2. Down into the hairpin. Stoyan taking another look. And ooh, and a big twitch, and off goes Skermanis. That's a big shame, because he was running much better than in race 1. Keeps the car going through the gravel there, and he's going to rejoin right at the back of the field. Now, the end of the first lap. Slipstream Central time. Williams on Van Land for 2nd position. Oscar Williams with a great start to this race is going to the outside and brakes later, and through he goes. So Oscar Williams is through to 2nd position. Yep, Wagenvoort into the pits, I'm afraid to say. So Wagenvoort may be our first retirement, whatever's happened to him. Stoyan has passed Klink for P7 there, and they're still side by side over the crest of the hill, the 2 teammates. 666 alongside 33. Down towards the hairpin, and round the outside goes Kinnable. Nicely done. One of the Mickey Racing cars on his Mickey Racing teammate. Back to Williams catching Omlu for the lead. Omlu in his new set of wheels, new livery, new team, new opportunity. 7/10 of a second ahead of Oscar Williams, with Williams flying in his mirrors. Wagenvoort incidentally is back on the road after his pit stop and already attacking Skermanis. He is through to 13th. Williams will get a sizable slipstream this time onto the start-finish straight. He's 2.8 seconds back. Sorry, 0.28 seconds back. And now it's 0. Absolutely 0. He sets the fastest lap of the race and takes the lead. Well, he does so. Oscar Williams takes the lead of the race. And Van Land is back up to third. Oh, and there's contact with Salem. So Van Land and Salem both off the road. Younger is back up to 3rd. Van Land's still off there. And I didn't see how that started, but we all saw how it ended. Van Land now outside of the top 10. Klink and Janssen. Janssen stays ahead of his Mickey Racing teammate. Southwood and Kinnable. 3 of the Mickey Racing cars right together on track there. As I saw Draper passing Van Land in the background. He's made it stick. And Van Land's got it back again. Dramatic race so far. Williams leading. Niemanen is 3rd. Omlu separates them. There's a bit of a gap between Omlu and Niemanen, so Niemanen needs to catch that if he's going to finish right behind his championship rival. Younger coming with him, trying to make his job tougher. And we're looking at Janssen, Klink, Southwood and Kinnable in a 4-way fight over 7th position. First 5 minutes of the race is up now, a quarter of it done, 3/4 still to go. And Oscar Williams once again sets the fastest lap of the race as he pulls away from Tim Omlu. Omlu still holding 2nd. Niemanen catching, but not by too much. Oh! And Omlu's made a mistake somewhere. Omlu is off at turn 1. Digs his way out of the gravel, so Niemanen goes through to second. Now that would have been on his own, there was no one near him. And Niemanen now right up with his championship leader, albeit with 4.5 seconds separating them. With his championship rival, sorry. And Omlu down to 7th place. Reminds me of Imola, where he was in a good position and then sadly had a couple of spins, ruined the tyres, and his day went to pot. But anyway, he's on the back, or between Janssen and Klink. So this battle for 7th. Now, well, it seems that Kinnable has dropped out of the battle for 7th a little. He's under attack from Van Land, by the looks of things. Yeah, a shame we don't have replays, because I would have loved to have seen how that happened to Tim Omlu, but whatever the case, the effect is the same. He's down to P7 and actually dropping back from Janssen by the looks of things, with Neveo Klink now back within a second of him. On to the start-finish straight again. Williams once again fastest lap of the race, 136.164, and he's been beaten by Niemanen. So Niemanen goes fastest, but the gap still 4.6 seconds now. Southwood, incidentally, up 2 places. He's passed both Klink and Van Land there. No, sorry, I was looking at Van Land also passing Kinnable. Oh, in contact with Klink and Southwood! And that is not the right direction. Southwood there kicks the rear tyres into action. But yeah, there was contact between him and Klink. And let me just quickly look at the replay of that. So Southwood had got through. Klink was coming back on the inside, locked up a tyre. And, well, the rest is history, I'm afraid to say. But yeah. Anyway, here's Tim Draper, a slightly laggy Tim Draper, on the back of Rob Kinnable, fighting over 9th and 10th position. Omlu now back and close with Janssen as we speak. These two cars very similarly liveried, different teams, Mickey Racing and Scuderia Toto Rosso, but ooh, Draper there leaving his braking slightly later, running a little wide. But anyway, out towards the final corner of another lap, towards the start-finish straight. Sammy Salem catching up dramatically to Maximilian Younger. Let's take a look at... Oh, actually, no. Let's look at... Oh, wow. Draper banging wheels, I think, with Kinnable down the straight. Kinnable will have the slipstream. Can he come back at him? It's difficult into turn 1, and Draper covers it off. So Draper does have 9th position for the time being. Let's take a look there at Salem and Younger. Salem has been catching, and in this inter-team rivalry, Younger and Salem are about to go at it by the looks of things. Look at the mountains in the background there, as the camera briefly changes, but there you go. I like the detail the modders have put into this. Over the crest of the hill again. Salem 0.8 of a second behind at this point in time, as we're approaching the halfway point in this second of 2 races. Still a little way to go. Salem has time, but doesn't want to bide his time too much, because time will absolutely fly past. There's only a few more laps to go realistically, and therefore only a few attempts, a few opportunities for Salem to get past Maximilian Younger for that 3rd position. Salem already has a win to his name, 2nd race at Zandvoort, and usually finishes on the podium in at least one of the 2 races, as Niemanen sets fastest lap. But yeah, the only round where he hasn't stood on the podium was at Brands Hatch, where he was on course to in race 2 at Brands Hatch and then had a DNF. But every other round he stood on the podium. Hasn't stood on the podium in both races though, incidentally, at any of the rounds. Janssen has passed Stoyan, for P5. So that is a change. Tim Omlu appears to be trying to follow him through on his recovery drive. Omlu would have had a task to hold off Artie Nieminen had he not made the mistake. Would have been difficult but not impossible. But still with... Oh, and he's up the inside of Stoyan. Not close enough though. Wagenvor also has just passed Kinnable. Kinnable back on the inside. Kinnable back through. Sami Salem now back within half a second of Younger. Surely this is his chance now, as he's going to get the slipstream. Looks to be under control through that turn. And now he approaches. The car in front punching a hole in the air. Salem to the outside. And he's going to be through well before the corner. Look at that. Sami Salem through into third. And Younger was very close to him. Runs over the curb. But they keep it just about clean. Sami Salem up onto the podium. As expected. Omlu now ahead of Stoyan. That's a change. And they continue to fight up the hill. Stoyan still just about on his inside. They almost had an overlap there anyway. Let's quickly look back to Younger to make sure that we don't miss anything if it happens. Younger with the red helmet sticking out and going back up the inside, and they rub wheels. Look at that. That was almost disastrous, but he goes through. So Younger back through to third place. And Salem's going to have to do it all over again. Now whether that was fair or not is a different matter. They rubbed wheels, but whatever the case, Younger is through into third position. Sami Salem stuck in fourth. Oh, up the inside again. Look at that. Younger left it wide. But Younger will have the inside for the next corner. And this time they don't touch. Salem is through, but Younger is now in the position that Salem was in a lap ago, where the car in front is acting like a windscreen. Look at that! Salem was almost in the pits there. Here comes Younger, approaching, and he's not going to be close enough. I really thought that he would be there. But Salem's car just faster in a straight line, and once again Younger runs over the curb. And once again gets extremely close to Salem's car. This is what some commentators I know would call a ding-dong duel. And Younger still not able to come back at Salem. Salem would have expected to have gone through and sailed through, but Younger knows that he's fighting for his team here. Back up the inside, just as he did a lap ago. Big slide this time, big twitch. Now he's got to focus on the exit, getting it all back together again. 6 minutes to go in this race before the checkered flag comes out. And the final lap is confirmed. Down into the second real hairpin on this track, the unnamed one. Nevaeh Klink has got past Rob Kinnable for P12 as we speak. And Kinnable back through. They're having their own little scrap there over P12 and 13. But look at Salem and Younger. Down the start-finish straight they go. Past the timing line. Salem's last lap considerably quicker, 0.4 of a second quicker than Younger's. Oh, Younger losing it over the curb. Big twitch, good save. That's going to cost him a tenth or two. Probably about 3 tenths overall. Actually, it doesn't look like it did, according to the timing screen. Or the time tower, but yeah, that was a close one there for Younger. It appeared to be all ragged on the exit of turn 1. He likes that curb, doesn't he? He's used it a lot. Draper now ahead of Van Land. As Clink and Kinnebort continue their scrap over 12th place. But yeah, Draper has got past Van Land. Younger still sticking with Salem. Doing a really good job. It looked as if Salem was going to fly past him. He was a lot quicker. With no disrespect to Younger, but anyway. Incidentally, this I'm not sure how much time the drivers actually had to practice this round, since on the calendar it was supposed to be Estoril. But rather than Estoril, they've obviously decided to go with Portimao. That's very similar to what happened last time out, where it was supposed to be Po, and then it was swapped out for Monaco. But anyway, next round on the calendar is supposed to be Port Ricard, so we'll see if that stays the same, or whether it's swapped out for Mangicourt or something along those lines. We'll see. So Salem 3rd. Younger 4th, the gap 9/10 of a second. Salem not really getting away from Younger here. But that's okay, because he's got a big gap ahead of him to Nieminen, and a big gap behind him to Janssen. As a result, doesn't really matter much that he's not pushing super hard after getting past Younger, so long as Younger stays behind him. But anyway, Wagenvoort's now past Southwood. They appear to be having their own little battle down at the hairpin. Southwood, the more reddish car, on his right hand side, has the inside line and goes past. Yeah, Wagenvoort looks up a wheel though. Wagenvoort ducks back underneath him, and they're still side by side on the exit. Southwood with the inside. Wagenvoort will have the inside for the next corner. That's the nature of this circuit. And Southwood runs wide again. Wagenvoort back through on the exit. Wagenvoort trying to hold it wide. The curb is in the way. Oh, well, he tried to go for another cutback, but had a twitch. Did well to hold it. We saw Skermanis doing that on the first lap of the race and not being able to hold it. Clink and Kinneball still continuing their little scrap. No idea what's going on back there, but they are loving life. But Southwood and Wagenvoort, 7.5 tenths of a second separating them as they cross the line. Let's have a look what's happening between... Oh! Whoops! Well, right as I look at what's happening between the two of them, they appear to have come together. Kinneball and Clink. And those are teammates, so one of them committed the cardinal sin. Oh, Stoyan under pressure from Draper. Draper through! That's not good! That's very not good. Well, something went wrong there. A bit of a misjudgment, and they've come on right in front of Dave Southwood, and that's what's happened there. Southwood over the front of Stoyan's car, and all the hard work he undertook of winning his own little scrap has come undone again. So Draper, Van Land P7, Draper P8, Wagenvoort P9, Southwood P10, and Stoyan P11 after all of that. That was a clumsy sequence of corners there. Not entirely sure what went through any of their minds, but anyway, that's the order that they've come out in. Let's take a look back to Maximilian Younger and see if he can stick. Well, he's not quite stuck within a second of Salem, has he? They're now on to what will surely be the final lap of the race. And I think it may all be over for Younger. And this scrap for third. We'll keep watching it just in case. Actually, I want to quickly see what's going on between Draper and Wagenvoort, because Wagenvoort is going to have the slipstream on the straight. Ooh! Looks as if they were going to touch there. Wagenvoort has the inside line in the waiter car. And side by side with the purple helmeted Tim Draper. Draper gets the run. Draper stays ahead. Nevaeh Klink is apparently disconnected, so here's our first retirement, and hopefully only retirement from this race. Let's look now at Oscar Williams, who is leading this race by 5.5 seconds. It's a much more considerable win than the first race's victory was. Williams and Nieminen will come away from this round with equal points, and therefore their gap in the championship will still be 23 at the end of all of this. Here we go towards the start-finish line, and Oscar Williams wins race 2 here. Nicely done from Oscar Williams. Arttu Nieminen will come through to P2, 5.4 seconds back. Salem will be P3, but let's see if anything changes between Draper and Wagenvoort here over P8. Sammy Salem has finished P3, good job from him as well. And he continues his habit of almost always finishing on the podium in one of the two races. Younger 4th, Janssen 5th. Tim Omlu is 6th. And who is going to be 8th though? Wagenvoort with the run. Oh, right up against the wall. That's close. And they, oh my goodness, they rub wheels across the line, but I'm pretty sure that was Draper who got it there. So Williams, Nieminen, Salem, Younger, Janssen, Omlu, Van Land, Draper, Wagenvoort, Southwood, Stoyan. And then we're just waiting for Rob Kinnable and Carlos Skermanis, who are relatively close on track, but not too close. So it looks like they will finish in that order, with the only retirement being Nevaeh Klink, unless you count Snow Diego, who unfortunately failed to start the second race for whatever reason. I'm going to say that my driver of the day today was Arttu Nieminen. He really had it from the start with that awesome pole position and that first lap in race 1, which sent him well on his way to winning this the first race, and then of course coming through the pack to second as well. But anyway, there we go. That is the end of today's racing. I'm going to stick around for a bit, see if we get any drivers coming in for an interview. If not, that's okay. But yeah, it would be nice to speak to one or two of the drivers before the end of this broadcast, and see what their thoughts of Paul Ricard are, since we're racing there in 2 weeks' time. Snow Diego has just messaged me to say he didn't start race 2 because his PC shut down all of a sudden. Sorry to hear that, Snowd. Hope that you sort out whatever that issue is. And that actually is quite a shame for him, because those would have been easy points had he finished that race. But anyway, not sure that anyone is going to come in for interviews at the end here. But anyway, once again, the order for that race: Oscar Williams, Arttu Nieminen, Sammy Salem, Max Younger, Max Janssen, Tim Omlu, Martin Van Land, Tim Draper, Jaap Wagenvoort, Dave Southwood, Cyprian Stoyan, Rob Kinnable, Carlos Skermanis, and then Nevaeh Klink at the end of all of that. In terms of the championship, of course, that means that Arttu Nieminen will still be leading it ahead of Oscar Williams, and they will be comfortably ahead of everyone else in the standings. Anyway, that is all that we have time for today, and as usual, I will remind you to join us again in 2 weeks' time for the round at Paul Ricard. And then, of course, 2 weeks after that will be the grand finale. We're getting towards the end of the championship now, and it's getting exciting. So thank you all for tuning in today, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.